But today, for the first time ever, I'd like to let Macintosh speak for itself.
Hello, I am Macintosh. It sure is great to get out of that bag. Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, I'd like to share with you a maxim I thought of the first time I met an IBM mainframe. Never trust a computer you can't live. Obviously I can talk, but right now I'd like to sit back and listen. So it is with considerable pride that I introduce a man who's been like a father to me, Steve Jobs.
Computers have existed for many, many years, as early as the mid to late 1940s with the Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer, otherwise known as ENIAC. Back then it required many people to operate and handle the computer. Since the 1980s and the development of desktop computing by tech companies such as IBM, Microsoft, and Apple, many wondered when computing would not require the user at all, and would just, in some cases, work on its own. Artificial intelligence is essentially a computer which can think for itself, much like a human being can. And artificial intelligence operates off of data from different users or other sources. The AI's framework exists entirely from code, almost like every other program on computers today. In that Macworld 1984 video I played at the beginning, you can see how Steve Jobs simply programs a computer to say words on a screen. This wasn't really artificial intelligence per se, but it was still impressive to hear a computer talk for the very first time in history. The first time we ever heard of a legitimate artificial intelligence in home computing was in 2011 with the release of the iPhone 4S. The iPhone 4S added a brand new feature, Siri, an artificial intelligence which could be used to complete different tasks for the user. With this, the user could simply say, for instance, call somebody, and the AI would call them for them, without having to do anything. With the success of the iPhone 4 in 2011, many companies have made their own artificial intelligences, much like Siri. Google made additions to their Chrome browser, adding voice searching to the Google search engine. Microsoft made Cortana, an already existing fictional character, for the release of Windows 10 and other Microsoft products. And most recently, Amazon made Alexa, or most commonly known as Echo, an in-home AI which can be spoken to search up facts and buy products from Amazon.com. Most recently, IBM created Watson, a supercomputer which can compile different data from users or other sources. If you give Watson a few clips from a movie, he can make a really well-written trailer out of them. Or give him a beat, a chord progression, and a key, and he can make a song. Most people have recently been teaching AI to compose sentences from random sounds, based on no background knowledge of the English language. Nobody truly knows what AI will be like in the world of tomorrow. But one thing was recently just invented, about a few years ago. Quantum computing. Quantum computing is an entirely new way for computers to operate. Almost all machines today have a binary language, meaning they use two characters. Quantum computers are different. Instead of only using one number at a time, they can represent both at the same time. Google, the first to create the quantum computer, used it to accurately simulate a molecule of hydrogen, something that normal computers, even supercomputers, take multiple days to replicate. Because of this, we might be able to create computers that are errorless and can fix themselves, and even possibly simulate the human brain. Or it backfires and ends all of humanity. Many people have wondered when computers will become too sentient or too smart. Sentience has always been a big issue in computer technology since the dawn of AI. Before the creation of the home computer, many computers were big and oftentimes used very primitive technologies. So the thought of creating a computer that could think on its own gave the impression that this computer would be some all-controlling maniac. Even today, many people wonder when computers would surpass that of the human brain. Because computers are more smart and are capable of things such as the internet, and us humans aren't, when would the computers take over the world in some cases? While editing this video, I added a few pictures and it put captions there that I did not add in. For instance, the hydrogen molecule picture stated that it was a hydrogen molecule isolated on a white plane. So in some cases my computer is looking at the image and finding out what it is and putting a caption in there. Much like how AIs work today. And the funny thing is, for all these years that I've been using Windows Movie Maker, I never knew they added this. However, in today's day and age, computer engineers and scientists are in full control of the artificial intelligence and the data in which they input and export. The United States doesn't have that many restrictions on AI use, as it's mostly controlled by the corporations which own the AI. And as well as that, many other countries outside of the United States don't have that many restrictions on AI as well, for mostly the same reason. Which begs the question, where would AI be in the next 30 years? Would they be controlling cars still, or would they perhaps have their own lifestyles, perhaps even walk alongside humans in conflict? But in that case, only time would tell, and we don't really have a time machine yet as far as I'm concerned.